One of the questions I get asked all the time is, what is the difference between the two different framing nailers, the 21 degree and the 30 degree? And no, I'm not going to give you the old answer, which is 9 degrees. We're going to go in depth in this video, and by the time you get done watching this, you're going to see which one's right for you. Let's go. So we're comparing the two Milwaukee M18 fuel framing nailers. So if you buy the kit, it comes with a 5 amp hour battery on both of them, and that just seems to give it a good balance overall. So you don't need to go with a bigger battery. I think you're going to get like up to 700 nails on one charge, which is going to get you quite a ways. So today I checked the Home Depot website, and the bare tool price for each of them right here is $379. I checked another place too online, and they actually had the same exact price. So it's going to come down to some personal preferences, which we're going to be pointing out. So let's first take a look here at the 30 degree. So I have a little bit of a collection of 30 degree nails. In my construction career, this is what I started out with. I had a Senko pneumatic nailer, framing nailer. And this will focus. You can see these have the clipped heads. So there might be an issue when it comes to some of your codes and your local inspector if you're getting something inspected, whether or not you need the full round heads or not. Then I recently picked up these right here from Pass Load. These have the full round head. So it's kind of a different look to it. Let me see if I can get that to focus. So it's a offset, but it is a full round head. So if your inspector is requiring that, then these will work for that. If you go with the 21 degree, then they automatically come with the full round head. And these are spaced out with plastic. And then the 30 degree right here has paper, but you can see they're spaced a lot tighter together, so you're not going to have to reload as often. Here you're going to have to reload on the 21 degree more often, but with the plastic, if you leave these out in the rain, you're not going to have anything deteriorate where the cardboard can swell up, and it could actually ruin some of these. So just want to let you know, if these swell up or they start to expand because of the water getting into them, let's say you leave them out overnight in the rain, then these might just become worthless. So in a full strip right here on the 21 degree, I counted 28 nails with this particular brand. And then with these different ones right here, on the 30 degree, on the shorter Senkos, I had 44, and these Pass Loads, I had 40. So as you can see, you can fit quite a few more nails per strip. So they're both going to have very similar features. So they both turn on the same. So you have your single sequential or your contact actuated, which I call bump mode. So they're both going to have the rafter hook. They're both going to have the belt clip right here. They're both going to have the LED light. Check that out. And they're both going to have the on-tool wrench for storage right there. All right, now I'm excited because I can share with you a conversation I had with someone while I was at the Milwaukee Pipeline event. Let me show you real quick what that is. And here we have Sean Kelly. He is the Director of Product Marketing. And I asked him, you might not hear my audio, so I'm just going to repeat the question I asked him. Actually, 3 quick questions. I said, what are the trade-offs between the two nailers, the 21 degree and the 30 degree? Which ones do you sell more of, and which one is more common in the trades? Let's see what he has to say. More common in the trades?
That one's interesting because the regionality is actually really black and white in the US and then also globally. So from a sales perspective, we sell about the same number of both. Generally speaking, when you look at the western part of the country, so call it maybe the Mountain West area to the West Coast, you're going to see primarily 21 degree style nailers. In the Midwest or central part of the country, you're going to see primarily the 30 degree style. And on the East Coast, you'll see a little bit more of a mixed bag between the two. What that's rooted in historically is building code. So for a long time, 30 degree nails, framing nails, you could only get with a clipped or a D head. And in your coastal regions, they're generally high wind or seismic regions, you were required by code to have a full round head nail. Now you can get 30 degree framing nails with a full round head. They're just offset from center on the shank. So technically those are code compliant, but the regional preference and what's commonly stocked in distribution has been so kind of set over the years of that regionality. That's what you tend to see most commonly.
Then I brought up the point that the 21 degree nail like this has these little plastic pieces left over afterwards. I want him to comment on that.
If you were choosing between the two, and you had both styles of nails abundant to you in the area that you live, The trade-offs on the tools would be the plastic or 21 degree. They're collated in plastic, and they're collated a little farther apart, so you get less nails per collation, so you're reloading a little bit more, and they leave those kind of chunks of plastic collation where you're working. But on the flip side, you'll hear people tell you that they prefer that style because they're less susceptible to, if the box of nails or the nailer gets wet, that collation's not going to get damp and jam up or get damaged. On the flip side, it's the opposite. You'll hear folks say, I prefer 30 degree because I get more nails in that collation because they're collated so much closer together, and I reload less, and I prefer that, and there's no mess.
Bigger angles.
Yeah. But generally speaking, it's very regionally based. So like when I go out west and we do field testing or research, especially during the framer program, if they've only framed out west, we got the question a lot, like, why are you making a 30? Like, no one uses it. And you got the opposite question here in Wisconsin or in the Midwest, because it's so clearly one or the other. The East Coast is interesting, where you'll see quite a bit more of a mix. You'll even see a little bit of wire weld up in the Northeast a little bit. Now globally, outside of the US, it's almost all 30 degree. So Canada is really, really heavily skewed towards 30 degree. The rest of the globe is really heavily skewed towards 30 degree.
So then I asked him a question, do the inspectors on the East Coast, like those high wind areas, do they require the 21 degree?
They don't usually specify the degree. They specify the head. It has to be a full round head, and it's usually specified what shank diameter the nail needs to be. So what you'll see on the drawing is this shear wall needs to be a 3 1/4 inch nail, full round head at a 0.148 shank diameter, and you have to nail them in this nailing pattern. So if you have the availability to get 30 or 21 degree nails in your market to fit those specs, you can use either one usually.
Then I asked him, between the two nailers, can you get the same size and length nail?
You can, in terms of what's available, you can. 148s are a little less common to find for 30 degrees, but you can get them. And our tools fit the same diameter. So 3 1/2 inch in total length and up to 0.148 shank diameter in both models.
All right, so that right there ended our conversation together. So I thank Sean for his time, and I think that he really nailed the questions. What do you think? Hopefully this was helpful for you. All right, so now let's head back outside and put some more of these nailers to the test. So I built this short stud wall for you guys just here in my garage, just sitting loose. So what we can do is start off by firing the first nail, and then if we need to change the depth adjustment, both nailers work the same way. It's a tool-free depth adjustment. Oh yeah, that sank it really well. Maybe too much. All right, and to raise it up, we just twist that back a little bit. We'll do a slight turn. Let's try it over here a minute. A lot of power going in. Try it again. All right, that's looking pretty good. I don't want them too far countersunk. Maybe just a little more. Yeah, that's looking good. All right, so you may not be able to hear it, but there's the little pieces of plastic that are flying from here. Wasn't sure what direction they're going, but when you get done, you're gonna have some cleanup to do with this one right here, the 21 degree. All right, flip this upside down. All right, here we have the 30 degree. It should sound pretty much the same. Let's see. All right, in order for me to test out the bump mode on both nailers, I cut this 2x4 right here. We're gonna use this as a top plate, that way we can just go to town on it. So we're gonna load up a few more nails here in the 21 degree. It's starting to get a little low. So I think I'm gonna have to drive the nails in a little bit further, so I gave this a little bit of a turn so the nails sink more. And then we're gonna go over here, switch the mode. All right, my plan is to do a row on the right side, and then I'll use the other nailer and do a row on the left side. So let's just see. So all you do now, hold the trigger down and just go to town. Ready? All right, my arm's getting a little tired. Okay, it takes a little practice to get a rhythm going. So far there is one that's proud, the very first one that was proud. It's right near a knot though, so maybe that's an issue. Maybe I wasn't quite doing it right. Okay, there it stopped. I have the dry fire lockout. So there's probably about 6 or 7 nails left in there. So ready to put another strip in, but we're gonna switch over to the 30 degree. Time for another strip. So I want to check this out in the edit, but I think with this one, my natural instinct is to have it angled a little bit more instead of straight. I'll have to see what it looks like. Let's go back to the other one now that I'm kind of dialed in on the sequence, how to go. All right, let me get the camera and show you a close look at this right here. That's the only one. I'm going to knock that in with a hammer. All right, so here's a look at what I just nailed. You can just see they're all quite consistent, very happy with it. What do you think? As I was mentioned, you can get into tighter spaces with the 30 degrees. So here's the 21. You can just see if I'm trying to toenail this in, just not quite that easy, depending on what kind of space you have to work with. Here's the 30. You can just see, works a little bit easier. So I guess it depends on what type of projects you're working on. You may not need to get into those really tight, weird angle spaces, but this will just give you a little more flexibility if you do run into that situation. So here's a few pieces I just picked up from the 21 degree framing nailer, just so you know what they look like. So I'm curious, up to this point, have you made your mind between the 21 and the 30? So there's a couple other things I want to quick point out. So a lot of times when you go to find out the weight of something, it can be a little bit tricky whether or not it has a battery or not. But I did actually weigh both these with the battery and no nails in them. So the weight of the 21 degree right here, on my scale, this came in at 11 pounds, 11.4 ounces. And then the 30 degree here weighed in at 11 pounds, 4.8 ounces. So this is actually 6.6 ounces lighter. So if there's a deciding factor that I didn't mention, please put your comments down below, because in this community, we can all learn from each other. And as I mentioned, I don't think you can go wrong with either one, but it'd be helpful to be able to get as much information to make the best informed decision possible. So if you find this video to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. See you next time.